Yeah, not much of it.
Well, welcome back to another video with the Rusty Nuts and Mindy. So we're going to start a few little jobs on Mindy, and while there is quite a list of things to do, the first thing that I need to do is get the engine out. So I've got limited time today due to being a Saturday and things on, so I'm going to try and achieve as much as I can do. It's already been a disaster this morning. I left the house 3 times without the camera. No, 2 times, sorry, without the camera, once without my tools. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start tearing into the engine bay. We're going to take the bonnet off to make it easier for us, and then just start taking the radiators out, all the ancillaries, SUs, carburetors, stuff like that. So I'll put you on a little bit of a time lapse for the ancillaries, and then I'll bring you back for when I'm taking things like the carbs off and stuff like that. Let's go.
Yeah, not much of it.
Right then, as you hopefully will have seen by that time lapse, front bumper's off, grille cover's off, shiny bits are off, the cardboard really expensive tube is off, pipes to the radiator is off. As you'll have seen, my glamorous assistant Dave has filmed me completely and utterly missing the tray underneath it, so that was good. So the radiator now should, in theory, come out with a bit of gentle persuasion. There we go. One radiator. Just need to bend that back like that, that's fine. So radiator's out. Fortunately we've adorned ourselves with quite a few bits of spillage kits, so we've got mops and stuff to fix issues. So radiator's now out of the way. We need to get this shroud out of the way really. It is a bit of a pig to get to the nuts and bolts on this, but we need to get that out so we can bring the engine forwards, and then we can start taking off electrics, alternator, carburetors, grounds, and then we'll start undoing the bolts on the gearbox, and that's really it. There's not that much to do. They're quite straightforward to remove, he says, hoping, because I'm doing all of this off my memory. I was going to bring my the Haynes Book of Lies, but I remember from last time when I did this, it told me to do a series of things that we didn't need to touch, and that just took extra time, so I thought this time I'll try and do it off memory. So next stage, we're going to take that off, then we'll get the alternator off and we'll go from there. So that battery is going flat, so let's do a battery change, and we'll keep you with us, I think, on this. We'll do it live. Right, yeah, Dave's just made a very good point of explaining why we need to take the radiator out before we take the engine out. And really, it's quite simple. There isn't enough room. So the fan sits on the front here, the radiator sits here. You've got to unbolt it from the gearbox, or you don't have to, you can pull the gearbox out with it at the same time. But in this instance, we're leaving the gearbox in place because the problem's on the clutch assembly down the bottom, I believe. So we're going to undo the bolts on the bell housing, but in order to bring the engine out, there's the final output shaft from the crank and the gearbox that come out. So you've got to pull it off that to be able to get it to come up. So it's a real bad description, but basically you've got to come up, forwards and out. So that's what we've got to do.
Well, you wouldn't need to do it if you could remove that.
Yes, so if you could remove this, I think it's called a Finch panel or a Flitch panel, I can't remember what they're called, and it'll be something completely different in America. But on the earlier cars, and I believe this model, which is one of the very first of the rubber bumper models, these actually come off, so you can actually take the whole engine out the front. But on this one, in some kind of repair from a previous owner, they've actually welded this plate in place, so I can't take it off. Unless it was like that out of the factory, but the welding doesn't look to standard.
Yeah, we've got those screws and things holding it in, the bolts.
Well these screws hold the wing on, and the wings come off.
Right, okay.
But the this bit here is actually welded to the panel here at the front.
Right.
So maybe it is like that, but the welds don't look great. So we're going to take this panel off now, give ourselves maximum room, and then we can start taking the electricals and the fuel system off there. So that is what we're going to do now. Now Finch. Is it another Finch or is it a 916? It's a 916. Or is it a 7/16? It could be a 7/16 actually. It's a 7/16. Now I don't know whether you saw on the time lapse either, but that bottom radiator bolt was tight. Very, very tight. So I don't think Dave's worked on this car, but maybe he has. And maybe he did it Dave tight. I'm not sure. And I also made a small boo-boo, which is the main reason why the wiring was changed in the first place. I forgot that the indicators are on the bumper. So took the bolts out of the bumper, pulled the bumper away and ripped the cables out of the plugs. So be rewiring them again. That'll be another video for you to see. That'll be good. Completely unnecessary, creating myself work, but hey ho. The wiring on these little midgets in any BCA car is not particularly good. Okay, great news. In all that time, one. Oh, that's good. One was broken, so that saves time.
More light.
Oh, yes, look at that. Let's see. And it's feeling now, but it's still raining.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped for days.
Yeah, so you might see that Mindy's a bit wet. Yeah, she's in the garage. And that's because it's been consistently raining for a week, I think. Probably about a week. And there is just a couple of holes in the roof.
Just a couple.
So they've made the way through. But that's okay. Just a bit of rain.
It's called asbestos. It's rubbish.
Yeah, I mean it's fine as long as you don't disturb it. There's nowhere it's going to be confusing because I keep saying Dave, but it's actually Davey B. Wave to the camera, Dave. There we go. The other Dave is currently doing family things with the family, obviously. But his wife Lottie's just had a fairly major surgery, so she's suffering a bit at the minute. So much love to Lottie out there from us here at Rusty Nuts. So if you keep hearing me say Dave and you wonder why is that athletic, good-looking man not appearing on the camera,
Said you got me.
instead you've got two fat legs.
Get a camera in there.
It's hard to see. Yeah, I'll show you. It's hard to see, but the light, it's just there where my finger's pointing, so we've got to take that one off, and there should be one on the other side, but that's snapped, so I'll have to rectify that, and need to get some under seal on the old girl. She's pretty solid, but the surface rust is creeping in, and best treat that before it gets too bad. Oh, got so many ratcheting spanners as well. Oh, what am I doing?
Oh no.
Can I get that in there? Fucking moron. Can you pass us the little blue box, please? In the bag. There should be a little blue plastic.
That little one. No, that's how it is. This one.
Yeah. Thank you. 7/16, that's going to be equivalent, exact of 10, maybe? That feels far too tight for it to be some 11 there. Well, there you go. So, in there. Oh, it's so much better when you use direct tools. There you go. Withdrawn. Okay.
Why is everything filthy?
There you go.
Why is everything filthy?
It's because it's got a massive oil leak. Okay, so try and keep tidy while we're there. Okay, so that's all out of the way now. So we've got this enormous amount of room at the front. So I think the next thing we'll do is disconnect and remove the alternator. Battery is already disconnected. I know that many of you people that look at every little detail will see that both connectors are on the battery, but that's a disconnected. It's a ground decoupler, so that's actually disconnected. So don't panic, the battery is disconnected. Okay, that's had a new spring, that's on there, so I can slacken that bottom bolt off. Like so. And then that means we can take that off. Now I'm pretty sure the issue is the crank seal, because it drips oil profusely on this bit at the front here.
Right.
You spanner.
And sometimes if you've got the right tools with you, just use something else because it's easier. This will happen sometime. I'll try and show you when it comes out. This camera's not great at focusing close up, so
I'll get the other one in.
no, that one isn't either. But it's basically a little tiny pin with a nut through the end of it, and your cable goes through the hole in the end there, and then this pinches up onto it to hold it in place. Quite a simple little thing, to be fair. Yes. Ow! Okay, so choke cable's off, and we took that up out of the way where it will definitely stab us in the future. Undo the fuel lines. So there's one main fuel line that comes in. This will be slightly different to a standard 1500 midget because I've got a external fuel filter on it and fuel pressure regulator because I'm running an electric fuel pump, not the mechanical one, because we had quite a few problems with the mechanical pump, which on hindsight I believe now actually wasn't the pump that was the problem, and I think it was the carbs that were causing the grief, but by the by. So they are now disconnected from everything mechanical, so we can now take off the link pipe, because you can take this off with it at the same time, but you might as well leave it in place. So, oh, the wonderful smell of petrol. So this is a little spring clip that holds everything in place. Just stick a screwdriver on the back of it, twist it slightly, and then that comes off. So they're now disconnected from that. So the next stage should be just to undo the 4 bolts that go into the manifold, and then we should be able to lift the carbs away, and I'm going to leave them connected so that it holds it as one piece. They're just overflows.
Right.
Yeah, yes. Not that spanner. Which size do we think? I'm going to go 9/16, and it'll be half. Are we ready? It's half. I should just stick with my original goal. I've really got to get better organised with my tools, because I tend to find these jobs take twice as long because I put my tools down and forget where they are, so I spend hours trying to find them. Okay. Yeah, the reason why I'm leaving the air filter on is so that the air filter goes through both carbs with 2 bolts. So what it's going to do is it's going to hold the 2 carbs together, because if I take these off and remove the bolts, they actually split apart. So I'm going to try and keep them together because they're set up, so I don't want to mess with them. I don't want to change the settings if at all possible. That is the theory. And amazingly, since working on Land Rovers, I just have to appreciate how much room they have under the bonnet. Because I mean, the little A series that's in the earlier versions of these, there's quite a bit of room around the engine, but this 1500 block is quite a big unit, especially with twin SUs on it and all that good stuff. So it's actually quite tight. Fortunately, I'm so dainty and small that I can just, dislocate many different appendages and put my hands in there. This is so much easier with a ratcheting spanner. And all of the bolts that are really difficult to get to as well. Most people will come across this if you've ever done restorations or work on your own cars. Why do they use them with so long threads? It's completely unnecessary for it to be that long. The smell of fuel is quite extreme.
I can't smell it.
You're not?
No.
Maybe it's because I've got my nose in a carburettor.
Maybe.
So there is 2 bolts underneath that sit in quite a tricky place to get to. And I'm pretty sure I put copper slip on these to make them easy to come out, because I felt the pain from the first time I did it. Yay! Right, that's the 2 pig ones to get out. So I really made that sound terrible job, and it really wasn't actually that bad. But anyway, and then the top ones. Oh yes, and don't forget to remove the springs. Yeah, throttle springs. And then there is a little heat shield that sits between the manifold and the carburettors. This is a new old stock one, so it's actually got a bit of asbestos in it, so don't cut yourself. You can be friends with your roof.
Yeah.
So, all being well, I've done everything correctly and I've remembered what to do. I should be able to just, yay, remove those as one. And that was important to try and keep them together, because I don't want to have to, I know I'm going to have to mess with the settings slightly when I put it back together, but I'd rather not have to do a full setup. And this, yeah, this is it's like a composite plate, but it's a new old stock that I got from Moss Motors, and apparently it's got traces of asbestos in it, so that's always nice. Okay, so we've got the water pipe to the heater matrix just there, and then we should have another pipe, yep, which is that one just there. So there's an in and an out from the heater matrix. Then we've got to disconnect this, which is the coolant temperature gauge vernier line, I think it's called. They've got liquid inside it, and the engine of the or an oil, might be an oil. The engine temperature, the water temperature, sorry, heats that up, which then converts it to the gauge, so you can see what the water temperature is, but my gauge is broken, so I'm not too bothered if we damage it, because I need to replace it anyway. This is very stuck. Would you like a project? Do you want to start building that?
Yeah, I thought I might as well do something useful.
Dave's going to get another camera on him and set himself up as a time lapse building an engine stand.
Really?
Aren't you, Dave? And I'll insert it here. Come on, Dave, set yourself a camera up.
I don't know how.
Oh God, that is welded on there. Right. Yeah, so this is a start motor. Now if you go back through the videos on Mindy, you'll see that I swapped this out for the standard from a standard starter motor to a high torque starter motor, because this car was always such a pig to start. On the old motor, after sort of 3 cranks the battery was flat, whereas this is obviously much more efficient, it's more powerful, so it turns over faster, quicker. So I swapped it out for one of these, but I don't know whether you remember the video, but it wasn't made for children, put it that way. I had to make a lot of modifications to get it to fit, because I got it from the classic car show, and they cross-checked it to the Spitfire engine and said that one will fit, which is great, and yes, it does fit, but the MG has got a slight bulge on the side of the casting that presumably used to house something on the other cars or whatever, I don't know, because this block is used in a few cars. So I had to grind that off to be able to get the starter motor in, so it wasn't particularly it wasn't a particularly easy job, but I would highly recommend it if you've got a lazy starter motor and you need to replace it. Get a high torque on it; they're just so much better. And no, we're not sponsored.
We're putting that back on
so I don't lose it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the one wire that goes to it. So that should be free of cables now, so we can disconnect that. And the starter motor is slowly working its way out. Oh my god, that was a mission.
It was ridiculous. I'm even bleeding.
Oh man, mine cut himself. So this bar here is a stud, but I couldn't remember how it was fitted, so it was all blind. But as it goes through the transmission, the bolt sits here, right at the end of the thread. You can only move the ratchet, literally click, 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 and you've got to take it all the way off there. And I had to pull it all the way back to here before I could put a standard socket in it. So if you're doing this at home, make sure that you've got a deep socket and the right tools basically, and that'll come off fairly easy.
Did you fit it yet?
Yeah, I fitted it. So that should be now the engine liberated from the gearbox. So the next stage, we've drained the oil, as you may have seen in that clip if it came out okay. So the next is to prep the engine. We need to put a chain on it, and then get the engine crane set up, get that in, and then hopefully we can lift it out. Dave, which you'll have seen on the time lapse, has made the engine stand, which is of questionable quality. But my last one I had was I've just scratched the paint.
Oh, lay down.
Oh well, touch up it requires. Yeah, the last one I had has currently got another project engine on it, which you'll see in a future episode. It's got a much heavier engine on it, and the Ching Chong Special seems to be doing okay, which is basically where they're all going to come from, I think, isn't it? So it's rated to 450 kilos, so it must be fine. It's just questionable, that's all.
Yeah, because I mean it's bent.
Yeah. So we're going to get the chain hooked up now onto this, get it to the point where it's ready to lift, and then we'll get it lifted in the air, hopefully. Get it out, get it on the engine crane, and that's a good job done. I think we're coming up to 3 hours, I think we've been on it.
Is that all?
Yeah.
push. Yeah, you're going to have to push it through. Yeah, carry on.
There's a hole here. And the changes slip there while I'm stood under the engine stand. Don't do what I do. I'm not getting in the way. Right. So that should start to move. Okay, that way, dude.
So what's holding it?
There we go. Okay, back a bit more. You can.
That's what's holding it back.
Okay, stop there then. One engine mount. Let it fall back naturally.
Did you miss that bolt?
I don't think so. I mean, it's off the gearbox. Oh, it's hung up on the exhaust. Okay. Now, of course, if you remove the exhaust first, this wouldn't cause you an issue. It's going to have to go down. Take it down a little bit. It's hooked itself up. Okay, just pump it up a little bit, mate. Okay.
More?
Yep, keep going. Okay.
Happy?
Yep.
It's free that side. Looks like it's going to pass.
Come on, buddy.
Something attached to the bottom.
Sure it's not the exact.
Might be, yeah. Well, this having a little like it was lifted with it.
Okay. So we may need to bring it out to the point that we hit the beam.
Watch the bottom.
Okay.
Is it the bottom?
Yep. Okay. So now we've got to very gingerly let that come down, and that doesn't come down gingerly.
No.
So be prepared to stop it.
How do you do that? I don't know how it reacts, so I'll hold
You just pull the engine to the side. Yeah, there is no fine control on this, so he says, well, fine control on this.
Yeah, well done. Now pull it back up. Spider.
Yay! Now, how much of that can you actually see?
None of it.
Oh no, my battery's going flat. Oh yeah, you can see it all. Okay, she's out. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to wheel it away from the car and we're going to get it bolted to the engine stand, and then that is a successful day. I think we're doing alright. So, we're going to wheel the stand over. So, it's the third. Engine is out. So we're losing the light now anyway. Dave's falling over the crane behind the camera. Yeah, we're losing light now, so I think that will be it for this one. We're going to tidy up now, get the parts into dry store, and then we'll continue this one from another video. So thanks very much for watching. If you like, give us a like. It makes a big difference to the algorithm. Subscribe if you would. It's completely free, and you'll be able to follow along the journey with Mindy and the other things that we're doing. Links in the description as usual, and we'll see you on the next one. Say bye, Dave.
Bye.
Bye.